The Ła-5 leaves a very good impression in the world of warplanes. It's mobile, fast, and has fine armaments. It's a true fighter. Its durability is only outmatched by the American Corsair and Mustang, as well as the German Friedrich, the Bf 109F. The speed of the Ła-5 is fairly average. Only the American planes and a lighter Yak-1M are better than it on its tier. The plane's firepower is not too outstanding for its tier. However, the Ła-5 has cannon armament in stock and in top configuration. The biggest strength of the Ła-5 is its superior mobility. Only the Yak-1M can compete in this regard. However, if we evaluate the turn time alone, then the plane is also outmatched by the Yak-9 and the Japanese Reppu. Overall, the Ła-5 appears to be a balanced aircraft, well suited for mobile combat in its altitude range. That gives us all the basics. Let's review the research. The first research point is the Ła-5 1944 airframe. It will slightly raise its top speed and allow the installation of the B-20 autocannons. They are the next research goal. It should be noted that apart from the increase in firepower, the B-20 provides an increase in mobility and climb rate. The top engine, the M82FN, is last on the research list. When it is installed, the plane will lose about a second of its turn time, but will be able to achieve maximum speed. You should keep in mind that the effective firing range of the Ła-5 cannons is 700 to 800 meters. Consider this when engaging an opponent. Now, a few words about altitude and speed. The Ła-5 has good vertical mobility. It can engage in combat in a wide range of altitudes, and a nice rate of climb allows it to get the necessary flight level fairly fast. The Ła-5 demonstrates good performance at low altitudes. The optimal range starts at an astounding 350 meters, and the plane does really well when close to the ground too. This great mobility allows it to actively use the terrain relief. Thanks to this, it will be easy to lose a less mobile opponent. The aircraft reaches its top speed starting from an altitude of 700 meters, meaning that it is best operated in the range of 500 to 1300 meters. This range allows you to harness the advantages of horizontal and vertical maneuvers and is best suited for attacking enemy fighters. Speed begins to drop from an altitude of 1500 meters. The optimal altitude range ends around the 1850 meter mark. These flight levels should only be kept at the start of combat in order to intercept enemy planes. Apart from the nice speed ratings, the Ła-5 has a relatively long afterburner time. However, the engine takes a while to cool down, so you should use the boost carefully. It's best used for vertical combat or when attacking higher speed opponents in horizontal dogfights. That's it for altitudes. Let's talk tactics. Try to stay with your allies at the start of combat and climb to an altitude of 1500 meters at the same time. Your main targets are less mobile fighters. You can also engage enemies with low durability. High firepower lets you destroy a light plane in a matter of seconds. Because the Ła-5 has a low dive speed, you should not use boom and zoom tactics with it. It's better to find a single target and tail it. When battling light fighters, your actions depend on the enemy's parameters. It's better to get slow planes into vertical combat and less mobile ones into a horizontal setup. Keep in mind that the Ła-5 has a pretty narrow firing beam and the cannons overheat rapidly. Do not use continuous fire and instead shoot in short bursts. When engaging attack aircraft and heavy fighters, stick to the basic rules. Do not attack head-on and do not stay in the tail gunner's fire for too long. You also need to keep track of the flight speed. If the opposing heavy plane turns the throttle down or uses the flaps, there's a chance you'll fly past it and get into its main weapon zone. The Ła-5's weapons allow it to engage ground targets, but low durability and common sense should advise you not to do so. A light fighter will not survive the enemy's anti-air gunfire. If you get into combat with higher tier airplanes, just keep your chin up. The plane's weaponry and mobility allows it to put up a fight. The best tactic is to support your allies and tail damaged opponents. Do not try to attack the enemy fighters by yourself. Now, several pieces of advice on grouping for a flight. It's better to team up with airplanes that have similar speed parameters, which is necessary for attacking enemies in a group while covering each other. You can take heavy fighters into a flight as an option. The performance of the Ła-5 allows it to provide cover even at high altitudes. To sum things up, we can say that the Ła-5 manages to live up to the legend title. It's a well-balanced and easy-to-control aircraft. It's forgiving when piloting and lets you get more aerial combat experience with its longevity. Playing the Ła-5 should bring you plenty of exciting moments on your way to acquiring top-tier aircraft.